Welcome to Women Who Move, the show where we spotlight inspiring women who are building businesses, creating opportunities, and are helping others move forward in life and in business. I'm your host, Katrina Keegan, and today I'm joined by someone who's truly incredible and very special to me. Her name is Michele Hayton. She's the owner of MCH Financial Services. Michele has spent years helping individuals and families navigate the world of finance and lending and making what you often can feel is quite a complicated process, extremely more accessible. Today, we're going to talk to women in business, more about, evolving opportunities that are coming into 2026. We're going to talk about getting a loan, what Michele wishes she knew earlier in her career, what she wishes she knew about lending, earlier in her career, and whether she believes that the younger generations will actually be able to buy property in the future. Michele, welcome to Women Who Move.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Katrina.
I am very excited because I have known you for, almost over a decade. Nearly, I want to say how long because then we'll show our age. But obviously to start and to explain who you are to the listeners, tell me your journey. How long have you been in the industry? What led you to start your own business? And what are you kind of doing in the financial space?
Well, thank you for having me. I think I already said that.
Don't be nervous. This is fine. You and I have had many chats over wine, so it's just like
I know.
that.
We're just on the balcony having chats. Yeah?
Yes.
So I started mortgage broking 13 years ago. I got into it because I started out selling real estate.
You were very good at selling real estate.
On the Gold Coast,
Yep.
apartments. And I loved it, loved property, loved people buying property.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to move into something different. Didn't love the weekend work of open for
Saturdays,
inspections.
Sundays, open homes,
Working all the time. I still work all the time.
I know, I feel like you do the same hours in a different position.
Just a little bit different. And then I moved into finance, did a little bit of car finance for 6 months.
Yeah.
That's terrible. But then stepped into mortgage broking, married the two, really, the love for property and the love for finance.
Yeah.
Stepped into mortgage broking, didn't really know what it was properly back then.
Yeah. Because
But
we just give a contract in and go, here you go, here's your 14 days finance, and it would just come back approved or declined.
exactly. And what is involved in that is a lot,
And now today you're going to kind of pull, the curtain across and give us a bit of information about that,
Exactly.
I hope. I guess running your own business, especially in finance, can be challenging. What experience have you found being a woman in business? And what have you seen change over the years? Because obviously you have been doing this for 13 years. Are you seeing a difference in women obtaining finance, or about them borrowing, or more women buying property? Or what have you seen change in those last 13 years for women in the property sector, in the financial sector?
Sure. Well, the first part of that question, I suppose, women in finance, we are definitely the minority out there. I think we're like 20 or 30% females in mortgage broking and finance generally.
That surprises me because I've majority of the time had female brokers. So
we're great at it. The ones that are there are fantastic. Some of them are in the top list, you know. Finance has always been mortgage broking has been a very male-dominant world, but I think that means that,
there's less competition.
There's less competition as a female. You can really bring a difference of opinion to the table, or different kind of when people are trying to buy property, they're also trying to buy a home. It's not just about the numbers and things like that. And so we women in finance really bring a different kind of element to it that's a little bit more softer.
I think as well, you break down a lot of the barriers for someone who has personally used you as my broker. You do make it feel it's just a comfortable experience. It's, I welcome you to my home and you have a cup of coffee, and it is a much nicer, more warmer experience, I think, than a dude turning up in a suit and, throwing a whole lot of documents on my dining table.
People have a misconception that it's about numbers and maths and finance and things like that. And it is. It's more about relationships.
Yeah.
It's more about helping you achieve your goals. I think I've gone off topic there.
No, because you've actually rolled in. When I did this with Penn, we did the same thing. We rolled into the next one. Because that's what you're saying. You're helping women achieve these kind of important goals. Are you seeing a lot of women that are starting their own business, that are investing more? I think what I've found since doing the podcast is there are so many women in our generation that are really investing in themselves. A lot of women buying their first homes on their own. For your, just from your perspective, what opportunities are there for women right now, and what do you notice about more women borrowing? And also, you do have a background, I guess, in financial planning as well. What are you finding with women right now in 2026 and into 2025, where they are actually starting to do a lot more stuff solo? Are you finding that?
Absolutely. I've helped a lot of women buy property and have a property portfolio, you know. They are savvy these days. They are the biggest opportunity for women these days is their ability to seek out information.
Yeah.
You know, and they're not always just about, you know, finding it online. They're talking to their friends. They're talking to their mother's group. They're talking amongst and finding out, oh, who did you use? So, you know, my business is basically built on word of mouth and referrals.
Yeah.
So even in the world of financial planning, and I'm not in any way a planner, I've just worked in.
Yeah, you've worked alongside them.
Them. Yeah, and they're seeing like women that are just, they're taking control of their household finances, not always the man.
Yeah.
And so that's really positive because women are kind of going into it with a really like, their eyes wide open to wanting to know more about it, and knowledge is power, really.
You would have looked at, I actually had a conversation with my mum who adores you, and because I've known you for quite some time, and I was explaining to her about, you know, women having portfolios of properties and coming into, you know, new relationships with their own apartment or with their own house, and they're really thinking about things now. Even one of our producers here came in early and she's like, hey, I'm, you know, early 20s, I want to know what the road's going to look like for me getting a property. That's a lot of things we are seeing, that women are taking control and just kind of setting themselves up first, not waiting for someone to come in.
Absolutely.
Are you finding when you do sit down with these women, what are the biggest concerns and questions that they have, do you think? For younger women, I guess, and, you know, that are investing or buying a business or getting a loan, what are their biggest concerns?
Can I do this?
Yeah. Michelle, there's usually a lot of confusion around lending. You know, for me personally, I remember when I was getting a loan, it's, you know, how much do I need to have a deposit? What, you know, are they going to go through my bank statements? I made the joke to you the other day that, you know, what was if I bought 5 margaritas at Burleigh Pav on a Friday night? Is this going to affect my borrowing capacity? What are some opportunities and programs and strategies, I guess, that people don't realise that might be stopping them from getting into the property market or helping them get into that property market?
Oh, there's so many now, especially if you're starting out, like you're a first home buyer. For first home buyers, there's grants, there's stamp duty concessions, there's the government scheme, 5% deposit scheme.
Yeah.
All of these things are helping people. There's the superannuation deposit scheme where you put into your super and then you take it out to buy.
Yeah.
That's a really secret one. People don't know that much about that.
No, I don't even know that one.
It's basically the government wants you to help you to save, and by doing that, they reduce your tax.
Yeah.
But the only way that they can do that and control it is by putting it into your super. So it's like a concessional contribution, but then you can take that back again later. So people can save through their super. And so sometimes, you know, when I'm talking to clients and it's like, do I have enough money? I'm like, have you ever made any concessional contributions to your super? I ask that question because they may have unknowingly done it, and then that's something that they can access.
Yeah.
But there's all sorts of things. You know, you can use a parental guarantee. If
we've done that before.
You can even do that with a sibling.
Wow, I didn't know that. Yeah.
You can now buy property, like rent vesting, buy property and rent that's a big one at the moment because people are looking at, you know, they want to live next to the beach. They still want to live with their housemates and live that lifestyle. Yeah. And so they invest somewhere else. And property share loans, which is buying property with a friend, which is actually one of the first things I did.
Yeah, you did, didn't you? Yeah. So if I was someone looking to buy their first home, what are the first steps that you would be thinking about? Besides calling you, what do we do? What are the first things they can start getting ready for?
Call me.
So call the broker first.
Speak to a broker. I would say so many people come to me, they've saved up a bunch of money.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Do you have a certain amount or it's overwhelming?
Yeah, and they come and say, what can I buy with this? And really, if you were going to start, I would reverse engineer it and say, come to me first. What everyone can borrow in terms of their borrowing capacity and their income, that's set, right? Yeah. It changes from bank to bank, and so we can look across the board, but that's how much you can borrow. Then we can reverse engineer it and go, okay, well, if this is what you can borrow, what's 5% on top of that? That's how much you're saving. And then that's your goal. And then when you can visualize that goal of, okay, we're looking for a $700,000 property, because most people are just saving. I'm saving for a house, you know. But if you knew it was a 700,000, you start looking online and you kind of visualize this is what this apartment looks like or whatever, then that's what I would do if I was, you know.
So get your broker involved first.
Get your broker involved first.
Looking, just to rewind a bit, looking back at your career, what are some of the things that you wish that you had known earlier in finance, or, you know, personally, but I guess more the finance? What are some, I guess, common misconceptions about your industry that you had when you first began?
That you need a 20% deposit.
Yeah, I grew up with that.
Everyone thinks they've got to save and save and save, but, you know, they don't. Or buying your next property, that's, you know, buying an investment property, you don't have to save again. You just save once. Use your equity to buy the second property.
And what about the industry in particular? Like when you first started as little young Michelle going in there, I'm going to be a broker, you've just done all your qualifications. What is something that you professionally didn't realise that you realise now?
Look, when I first started out and, you know, you work in these sort of high sales roles and you're around people.
Ultra competitive.
It's in a competitive space, right? And it's numbers on the board and things like that. Something I learned along the way was, and you get caught up with it because it's in your monthly meeting.
You're competitive. I know you like to win. Yeah.
And what I realised is that when you work well for every client, it's not about chasing the ones with the highest loan, right? The CEO buying the really big properties and things. If you treat every client like they are a CEO buying their home or saving money on their loan, they're the ones that really speak the most highly of you, you know? And if you just don't chase the dollars, chase the clients. Do the right thing by everybody. Help them to, knowledge is power. And so if you're giving every client that knowledge, they can embrace it, you know, and know how to make those decisions.
You're making each client feel powerful no matter what size they are, no matter where they are in their life stages. And that's then empowering. Yeah, I like that. I like that. When we worked together, you were amazing at building relationships. So I could definitely see how you've taken that sort of spark in your personality and put it into mortgage broking. If you could go back, I'm actually really loving this train of thought though. If you could go back to your younger self, what advice would you give? Would you have bought property sooner? Like if you were 23-year-old Michele Hayton again, what would your advice be to her?
Oh, absolutely. I would say buy property now. Stop going out and drinking margaritas, you know. Save first, spend second is what I would say. It's about time in market, not timing the market. So if I had bought something when I was 23, not saying my age, but, you know, we'd be laughing. We'd be
sitting there drinking margaritas in Bali with our feet up. Speaking of, I guess, younger generations, there is a growing belief that younger generations just simply won't be able to afford property. What is your perspective on that? Because it's a very hot topic at the moment. You've got our Prime Minister's coming out saying quit the avocado on toast and not do all these things. You know,
we did that 10 years ago, guys.
It didn't work. We're still eating avocado on toast. What do you think? What's your perspective on the younger generation, which is including our generation as well, getting into the property market? Do you think that's changed, or where do you sit on that?
Absolutely, it's changed. Yes, definitely. It's a tough one. Like, there definitely needs to be some change, and it's all about bringing more supply into the market.
I agree with that, yeah.
But that doesn't help the first home buyer, right? It doesn't, you know, okay, you need to build more property so I can buy it. Like, what do they do? Well, there's lots of grants out there that they can and be a bit more savvy in terms of
where you're going to live,
what you're going to
buy.
Or just buying with a friend, buying with a, you know, using your parents' guarantee, all of those things we spoke about.
Yep.
Using the first home buyer's grant, using the 5% deposit scheme. If you just need 5%, it's $35,000 of a $700,000 property, right?
Yep.
Get there.
Yeah.
And
even
then
if you've got to pay something off, even if you've got to get a loan, pay off said loan, put that in savings, get something from, I talk to clients a lot about the guarantor. That definitely helped us when we were moving between one property and another. We had to sell one to buy the other. Being able to set that up just set us so much ahead just because we didn't have to pay mortgage insurance and things like that. So it is something that helped me out, in my younger years, and I would still do it again today if it meant saving such a huge chunk. So we've talked about the younger generation, but let's kind of flip the switch a bit. If you were maybe not a boomer, but if you're a mature age buyer seller, a lot of our clients at the moment, my clients, are selling their principal place of residence, the home they've lived in for 25 years, and they're downsizing. And they're buying an apartment in Burleigh, and they're really struggling with that shift. How exactly do you manage your clients through the sale of a property, the purchase of a property, without getting stuck with a removalist truck out the front, paying $110 an hour, waiting for settlement?
Yeah, good question. There's a lot involved in selling and buying a property when somebody comes to me for that, with that particular question. And it depends on, I talk to them a lot about what's their risk appetite, right? Because you can buy first and sell second. You can sell first and buy second. You can use a bridging loan.
Yeah.
You can buy it as an investment property and hold both and sell second. There's lots of different strategies, and I run all of those numbers for people and talk them through what's best for them.
Yeah.
And what's happening in the market will also answer which one to do there.
Yeah.
Because if it's a really hot moving market like what we saw in 2020, right?
Yeah, what we've seen the last
Buy and then sell. You know that you'll just talk to Katrina. She'll probably sell it in 5 minutes.
Yeah. Already got an off-market buy. Let's go.
Yeah. But then if it's a really sluggish market, then and it's a seller's market or not a seller's market, then you do the other way.
Yeah. So. I always find that if it's something that they're not going to move into straight away, then I might exactly park it as an investment. If it's that forever home and they found that second forever home, especially when they're downsizing from a huge house to an apartment, that's obviously something that Penelope and I specialise in. And I'm always that fear of the removalist truck waiting downstairs, booking the lift. So it's nice. Bridging loans is something that have really made it so much more comfortable as well for my clients to buy. And it's
absolutely.
Something that's been nice.
We navigate a lot of simultaneous settlements, which is, they've bought, then they've got to settle on the same day.
It is so stressful.
It is.
For
and I talk
parties.
to them. That's why they need a broker to really hold their hand through that moment.
Yes.
And, make sure everything goes smoothly because...
Confirm settlements on either side. Like even contacting a lawyer and confirming what time one's having. Try and booking them, so that one's not dragging the other. I really like that answer because that's another part of, I guess, our listeners thinking, you don't want to be mowing lawns and cleaning the pool and doing all these things for the rest of your life.
But the other thing is you can do it, right?
Yeah.
You can do a simultaneous settlement. It's possible. You've just got to have the right strategy in place on how to do it.
You've got to have someone looking after you for that. Like from the agent's perspective, when they
really
don't have a broker and they've got different banks dealing with it, it isn't good. Like it does usually come undone.
Yeah, for sure.
You are definitely worth your weight in those situations, for sure. Now, Michelle, before we wrap things up, I have a few quick fire round that I want you, just so the audience get to know you a little bit better. So answer me the first thing that comes into mind. Early bird or night owl?
Early bird, definitely. I live on the Gold Coast.
You do love a walk.
And I have a 1-year-old.
Yes. I was going to get to that later. For everyone who is listening, Michelle just celebrated the first birthday of her little baby boy.
Yeah.
How are you doing this as well? Because I have a lot of mums come on here. You are absolutely killing it, running the business. Also raising a 1-year-old, which can be super active. Like, is this when that what does work-life balance look like? Is it, I know it doesn't exist, but how do you actually manage that? Sorry to go off topic.
With a good tribe around me. And he's just started walking. So
oh my God, that's so scary.
Yeah, adorable.
Yeah, but then you're like, oh my God, you've got a little boy and they're so smart.
Yeah.
At such a young age and they get into everything.
Yeah.
Tell me about that tribe.
So we've got grandma daycare, we've got nana daycare.
Yeah.
I've got a really supportive husband and lots of mum friends that, can get around you,
It's great for networking too, isn't it?
I
love a mum group.
Yeah.
Like, I remember when my girls were growing up, it was like, here we're all talking about this. I'm like, have you bought your next investment property and are you looking to upsize? Like I was definitely, that was a good one for that. But sorry, I'll go back to these. What was the last show you binged?
I tell you the truth.
It's not finance, was it? Was it?
No.
Okay.
You can either say, I can either say White Lotus.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
But that was some time ago. So our TV broke on the 1st of January. And we have been doing a little social experiment to see how long we can
go
last
without
for. And
because I know you can afford one. So I'm like,
I know, it's not that.
I was like,
well, when you've got like once you do the whole routine, we would
bed, bath, bottle.
We would stretch a movie across 3 nights because we've only got an hour really.
Yeah.
And now we just, it's good. We feel it. We go for a walk. We'll, have more chats between Tim and I. I read more books.
Love that. You're sounding really, like for a mum of one who runs her own business, you're sounding, I think this is a great idea. You're sounding extremely put together. I was pulling my hair out and
I think sometimes you need to do some
switch off.
Detox of digital detox is what I put it down to.
I 100% agree with that. What is the best money habit that everyone should have in 2026?
Pay yourself first. So save first, spend second. Don't just save what you have left over. Put a dedicated amount into an account and save that and then spend the rest.
Okay.
And also having buckets, if anyone who hasn't heard of that, which is...
What's that?
Well, you have your rent and bills account, you have your slush fund account, and then you have your saving for a rainy day account.
Yeah.
And you put money, you just separate your money.
Yeah. And that's easy to be done. You can separate.
It's easy. If you have your savings, your spending money, that's where people, and all your direct debits coming out of one account, that's where people get confused.
Yeah.
And they go, where's all my money going? And you're
not tracking it properly.
You're not tracking it properly.
Yeah. I don't know if you'll answer this or not. Funniest thing that you've had to explain on a credit check?
So I wouldn't say it's a recent thing, actually. I had a client in Adelaide who they were buying and selling a property. Yeah. And so I'd known them for 3 or 4 years. And as a couple, this was their second property. And I had the bank call me and say, there's a third party on this on Mr's profile. Yeah. Can you explain? And I'm like, what do you mean by a third party? Like, well, like a third, like another person. He's like in a de facto relationship with another person.
Okay.
You're like, I was like, no. It's them. Yeah, them two together. Like,
how do you even ask that question to?
Well, I didn't because, to be honest, I knew that there is not a 30. It's an ex-girlfriend from years ago. Yeah. The assessor knew it was an ex-girlfriend from 3 years ago. And this is where brokers really come into like a different area of expertise. We are a buffer for what you give to the bank, but also how these annoying questions that banks ask.
They get frustrating.
That can get frustrating when they're...
And you feel like you're being interrogated sometimes when you go straight into a bank or straight into a lender.
I knew the answer. I knew that there's no third party. And so I just going back, I told them that there's no one there and didn't open up those kind of... Because they were stressed. It's,
you
looking
don't need,
for them.
Imagine the wife being like, why is this... Yeah, I can see
who's
that.
this person?
Yeah. Right now... 2026, would you invest in property or shares? Someone who I know invests in both, so...
Property, but if I didn't have the money, I would do shares.
Yeah. Best bit of advice you have received, either as a mum or as a business owner?
Money is a byproduct, not the goal. So don't chase the money, chase the client.
Ah, okay. I like that. One thing that people would be surprised to learn about you?
That I can travel in a very small backpack for several weeks.
Yes, because you and I have been friends, and it's great. You have always had that work-life kind of balance. Doing your job, that sometimes you are taking calls late at night or early in the morning, but you have travelled extensively. Yeah, which I love. Like I creep everyone's podcast, like everyone's Instagram before they come on. Yeah, and I love seeing all the photos. If you weren't in finance, what would you be doing?
Probably making sourdough.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Who are you?
I learned to make sourdough when I was pregnant. It was my nesting
There's really
thing.
not much else to do when you're pregnant. It's like work hard, make bread. Dream holiday destination?
Europe.
Okay. Where's your next holiday book?
Oh, well, we're going to a wedding next weekend.
Mm-hmm. Taking the baby?
Yes. Yep. Then Melbourne, a quick trip to Melbourne. And
I do find a lot of the women that come on that are business owners, they always have 2 or 3 holidays It's like you can work hard
Absolutely.
and you've got something to look forward to.
We're working on Japan at Christmas time. I just need to book that one.
Will it be snowing then?
Yeah, that's why.
Oh,
Tim's a big snowboarder.
That'd be so. I just want to see Patrick in like a little.
Yeah, so do I.
I love when we take them to these places and then they grow up and they're like, did I go here? He's like, yeah, I took you all over the world.
Yeah.
Michelle, thank you so much for joining us today and for sharing your insights. And thank you for everyone who's listened to Women Who Move. If today's conversation's inspired you, hopefully it has to inspire you to buy property or think differently about business or finance or your future. Be sure to follow us along for more conversations with incredible women who are really making a difference. I'm your host, Katrina Keegan, and keep on moving.